are so senior.
No, and I did 13 years. Really? I'm a complete fool.
They use you. There is nothing with them. Only borrow. Sometimes you refuse to give.
Okay.
Then they will make their own. अभी तक कहाँ था भाई तू? हम देख रहे जब घर में खड़ा है लेकिन मैं लोअर उठी What they are doing? What they are doing? Oh. Very good. Today is very auspicious day. Very auspicious day. That very merciful. और भक्ति आचार्य नित्य लीला प्रविष्णु विष्णुपाद श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर disappeared from this world. So this is not a happy day because we are separated from him and he left us and went. But he went to Golok Vrindavan to serve conjugal and to bestow mercy from there. So it is a happy day. The birthday and disappearance day, both are like same thing, very merciful to do. Jivas are sadhavas, devotees. You know, you have heard so many things. I want to hear from devotees something, and then in the last I will speak about him. How he was glorious in all subjects. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has, in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the mercy of all manifestations of Krishna and even the mercy of Krishna is included. Understand? The mercy of all the incarnations and himself Krishna, all are included in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In the similar way, you can understand the mercy of all acharyas, beginning from four acharyas, Ramanuja, Madhva, Vishnu, Swami, Nimbadita, and all, and also all the acharyas like Sarv Damodar, Raya, Ramananda, Rup Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and all, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Bhakti Vinod Thakur. All are included in the mercy of the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur. He has given the same message what Rup Goswami has given. He has given the same message what Sarv Damodar, Raya, Ramananda has given. He has given the same philosophical Gaudiya Vaishnava Dharma like Jiva Goswami. He was both. He was a very philosopher, Vaishnava philosopher, and also he was a Rasik both. So he was the Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur. He has given almost all the things that any acharya in our line or four Vaishnava has given. He was so qualified in Vedanta, so much qualified in Srimad Bhagavatam, in Chaitanya Charitamrita. If you see in any angle of bhakti, he will be seen pure, complete. He has so many arms, so many arms. Like my Gurudev, Pujyapat Siddhar Maharaj, Pujyapat Goswami Maharaj, Pujyapat Ban Maharaj, Pujyapat Tirtha Maharaj, Pujyapat
Nemi Maharaj,
Giri Maharaj, Khanas Maharaj,
Nemi Maharaj,
and Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. His youngest arm was what? He came to this Western and Eastern world. But how glorious! Very soon, this shall be preached over the whole world. Miracle thing. So, Srila Prabhupada inspired in all his disciples very strong this Krishna Prem and knowledge, transcendental knowledge. Especially he was very strong in G. Goswami's all classes of theory. He was so learned in all the Sandarbh, 6 Sandarbh, and Sarv Sampadi. At that time, when he was present, he was unparalleled preacher. So many Mayavadis, Karmi, Jnani, Yogi, Tapasvi came, but they were all defected themselves by only seeing the face of that Mahapurush. They used to be defeated and to take shelter of that Mahapurush. I think that it will be very good to that devotees should also glorify, and I will hear and I will be very happy. So first of all, Govinda Bhagat Prabhu, he is trying so much from very morning to up to now, not joining any classes, only reading, singing here and there. So first of all, he should be invited to speak about Srila Prabhupada. Anyone speaking? Come here. Oh. Huh? He is senior, so he will speak later, last. There is none, there is not all that. All we are so. But all hearing well?
So,
He has a loud voice.
Guru Maharaj, Gurudev has asked me to speak something on this auspicious occasion of the disappearance of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. So, devotees will be speaking after me who are much more qualified and will be able to go very deeply into the moods of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada. So here I would like to just speak a bit on the life of Srila Prabhupada. So, as we all know, he appeared in Jagannath Puri, and it's explained that during the time of Lord Jagannath's Rath Yatra, that Bimal Prasad, Lord Jagannath, the cart stopped outside the house of Bhaktivinoda Thakur for 3 days, and the mother of Bimal Prasad, Srimati Bhagavati Devidasi, she brought the little baby out, and the garland of Lord Jagannath, it fell on and garlanded little Bimal Prasad. Stated that when he appeared, that astrologer stated that he had qualities of a Mahapurush. Mahapurush means greatly liberated person descending from the spiritual world. That not only did he have, it said that in Mahapurush that there are 32 symptoms of Mahapurush. But not only did he have some of these qualities, 8 of these qualities, or 16 of these qualities, but he had all 32 qualities of a Mahapurush. And from very young, then he started to manifest qualities of a greatly liberated soul and great acharya. When he was about 2 years old, then some fruit was brought into the house, and spontaneously, just as Raga Pandit Prabhu, his child, will spontaneously go for things as he's going for the bell right now. So little Bhima Prasad, spontaneously he went for mango and went to take mango. And immediately Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he stopped him and he said, no, that actually this mango has not yet been offered to Giridhari. So while you're taking that which has not been offered, you should not do this. And though he was only a small boy, less than 4 years of age, then immediately from that point, he took the vow that he would never take mango again. So such determination. We see that sometimes we may make some determination that we may not take some food which has been cooked by non-devotees and offer. We may make that determination. Then after some months we're traveling, then we eat crisp and this and that and so many things. But he made this determination when he was about 2-3 years old, and for the rest of life he would never take. Swamiji, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, he would often comment that even when the disciples of Srila Prabhupada would offer him mango, then he would not accept. He would say, no, that I have made offense in this regard, and he would not take. So, as he grew up, he was trained by his father. Actually, he was a Shrutidan. Shrutidan means that he had such great memory that whatever he heard, he would never forget. And not only would he not forget, but he had perfect ability to be able to present whatever scripture he read according to perfect Siddhanta. How long should I speak? So for instance, by the time he was 6-7 years of age, he memorized all Bhagavad Gita. Not only did he have perfect memory of Bhagavad Gita, but he was able to speak Bhagavad Gita in any audience with perfect knowledge of all Siddhanta. It's stated that even in learning English, that he learned English just by reading the Oxford Dictionary. So his English was so high class that to understand him, his English even, an English person could not understand that it was of such a high caliber. And when he spoke Siddhant, I've heard it said that when he would speak, give discourses, that the Siddhanta was so powerful and so high caliber that all the disciples would have to go and hear from another disciple to explain what it is that the Guru Maharaj had explained. Though his disciples were so high quality, many of his disciples, just as when a great liberated soul descends from the spiritual sky, then along with him associates will come. As Krishna, when Krishna comes, Krishna does not come by himself, but he comes with so many different, with his associates. Just as we were hearing before, that before Krishna came, then Balaram he came and prepared the way. So similarly, when these great personalities they come, then they come with the associates who are siddhas in their own right. So, as he grew up, he showed his great knowledge, his great intellect by being very erudite in school, even though he never really studied his schoolwork. Rather, he would always keep with him books of Narottam Das Thakur, like Prem Bhakti Chandrika, Pratana, and whatever time he had, he would absorb himself in the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said that he did not want to waste time in these different materialistic studies, but rather that his sole object in life was to be one pointed towards the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he was very proficient. He went to college in, I think, was it in Calcutta? And he was very proficient in astrology and also Sanskrit. And for his proficiency in astrology, he received the title Siddhanta Sarasvati. But after some time, he gave up his education, though he was, as I mentioned before, he was so erudite, because he said that if he showed so much scholarship in school and became so accomplished in his studies, that then this would take away from his devotion life. So he left school, and he absorbed he thought that better he would absorb himself in his devotion life and bhajan. So there are many different pastimes that went on with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada. So I will just touch on a few. He was his father, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he trained him in his publishing work. So he became expert in all different aspects of publishing, editing, and even writing. One example is that there was some dispute between Smarta Brahmins and Vaishnavas, because the Smarta Brahmanas, they were saying that unless one was born a Brahmin, then he had no right to worship the deity. And also, they said that even if one was transcendently situated, that if he wasn't born a Brahmin, then he could not be Guru. So, they set a date for a discussion to be held on this subject. And it was expected that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that he would go. But during this time, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he became very, very ill, and he wasn't able to go. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was so outraged by the situation that he would loudly exclaim that isn't there anybody who will be able to present the proper Siddhanta, the proper teachings? And hearing this, then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, then he wrote a paper in which, I forget the name of the paper. Anyway, in the paper, he had different categories. First of all, he explained what is a Brahmin. And then he glorified the virtues of a Brahmin. And then after he explained what is a Vaishnava, and explained how a Vaishnava is superior to a Brahmin, and that a Vaishnava, just as Srila Sanatana Goswami had explained, that just as bell metal can be turned into gold by an alchemical process, then similarly, even though one may not be born a Brahmin, but if he has taken proper diksha from a bona fide spiritual master and undergone the process of diksha and become fully fixed in Sambandha Gyan, that he is actually a Vaishnava and much superior than just a Brahmin. So when he presented this paper to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he became very, very happy and gave him his blessings, and then he went to this assembly of Pandits and Vaishnavas. So to make a long story short, the Brahmanas, they presented their arguments, and then when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he started to present his arguments were so powerful and irrefutable that after 3 days of debate, the Smarta Brahmanas, they could not say anything. And there was a very big crowd. There were thousands of people who came to this assembly to witness. And after, they became so hysterical, seeing that an Acharya had emerged, that they started to storm to get the dust of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's lotus feet. So the police who were there to protect him, then they forcibly picked up Srila Prabhupada, and then they put his feet in a big vat of water. Even though Srila Prabhupada had avowed that he would not accept, he did not want anybody, did not allow people to touch his lotus feet. And even when anybody came to offer him obeisances, he would return the obeisances. Even after he had thousands of disciples, he would always address his disciples as Prabhu. So in this situation, they forcibly, against his will, they picked him up. And he was a very big person. They picked him up, and then they put his feet in the vat. And then they allowed the upsurging crowd of thousands of people to come, and they took the water from his lotus feet. And in this way, they were pacified. So, also, explained that when he was, I think when he was in his teens or early 20s, that one time he had a debate with one Shastriji who was very, very renowned and expert. I think this was just in astrology. But even though he was still just a youngster and a student actually, and he was debating with this Shastriji, he defeated him so profoundly that the person passed in his pants and had to run away. So in this way, he would travel. After some time, he traveled all over India, preaching the doctrines of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he was so powerful and indefeatable that when others, opposing elements, would come across him, then they would run away. He was known as Nishringa Guru. Then the pastimes of when he took initiation from Srila Gaura Das Babaji Maharaj. It's explained that after Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he had established Swananda Sukhada Kunj on the other side of the Ganges, and the other river is Sarasvat, Jalangi. On the other side of the Jalangi river, then one Paramahamsa Sadhu, he came from Vrindavan. His name was Srila Gaura Das Babaji Maharaj, and he was renowned and very, very renounced. He had, practically speaking, he had no possessions but his japa mala, and he had just very few possessions. And upon meeting Srila Prabhupada, then he was immediately, there was this spontaneous attraction between the two, and he gave him some knots of rope that he used to use that he gave him for chanting japa. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, he was very fortunate that in this place he would sometimes hear discourses which included Srila Gaura Das Babaji Maharaj, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And in due course of time, then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he inspired him, encouraged him that he should go and he should take Diksha from Srila Gaura Das Babaji Maharaj. But upon going to Srila Gaura Das Babaji Maharaj, Srila Gaura Das Babaji Maharaj had made the vow that he would not accept any disciples. And when he went, Srila Gaura Das Babaji Maharaj said, "Why are you coming to me? That you are such an erudite scholar." And already Srila Gaura Das Babaji Maharaj had so much honor for Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and for Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada. He said, "You're coming from such an aristocratic family," because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he came in lineage from Narayana Das Thakur. And he said, "You're so learned, you have the title Sarasvati Thakur, and practically speaking, I am illiterate." But because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he was not an ordinary soul. An ordinary soul would not be able to differentiate between whose, Srila Gurudev was just explained 2 days ago, that a Kanishta or a Madhyam Kanishta will not be able to differentiate between who's Uttam, who's Madhyam, and who's Kanishta. And in this way there might even be some offenses made, or one may honor somebody who's a Kanishta as a Uttam Adhikari. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, knowing and also being inspired by his father, then he was persistent. But in his heart he knew, because he could differentiate what was the level of Srila Gaura Das Babaji Maharaj. And he begged him for initiation. And Srila Gaura Das Babaji Maharaj, he said that first I have to ask Mahaprabhu, and if Mahaprabhu wills. So there we can understand that what kind of person can have direct contact with Mahaprabhu, and that when Mahaprabhu tells him, then he will reply if he can give initiation or not. By this we can understand what is the position of Srila Gaura Das Babaji Maharaj. So then Srila Prabhupada, he went about 2 or 3 times, and each time Srila Gaura Das Babaji Maharaj said, "No, I forgot to ask Mahaprabhu." And then finally, exasperated, and by this time Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was also, he spoke on his behalf. to Srila Gaura Das Babaji Maharaj that please be merciful to him. Because if you're not merciful to him, that he will give up his life. He cannot maintain his life like this. During this time, practically he had stopped eating. He was in such a state. And finally, he just broke down crying at the lotus feet of Gaura Das Babaji Maharaj. And he said that if you do not accept me, then I will give up my life. So seeing the determination of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta in this way, showing how to approach Guru. That the tendency is that because Guru is so merciful, what have we done? Srila Gurudev, he's coming and he's traveling all over the world. What effort are we making? And rather he's pleading with us. But actually it's stated in Shastra that one should approach Guru in such a desperate mood, as if one's head is on fire, and that one needs the mercy, the cooling effect of the lotus feet of Guru to put out this fire of material existence. So in this way, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, though he's a Mahapurush, liberated soul, and eternal associate of the Lord, but still he's showing how he's crying, and he's at the point that he's ready to give up his life if he does not get this mercy of Diksha from his Guru. So this melted the heart of Srila Gaura Das Babaji Maharaj. Already his heart was melted, but to the effect, to the point that he consented to give him Diksha. And so he asked him to go and take bath in the Ganges, and when he came, then he initiated him. The name was Vashabhanavi Devi Daita Das. So there are many other pastimes, but I think there are many other Vaishnavas much more qualified and realized. And also Srila Gurudev will speak, so time is limited. It's already almost 12 o'clock. So I'll stop there.
Now I am requesting Srimad Bhakti Rishikesh Maharaj. He should come and speak something. You can take.
I think for my own welfare, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's writing was the most inspiring for me. Maybe because I had some education, and to just hear his delivery was so invigorating to me. So I was always reading whatever I could get from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And just recently, I was speaking with Krishna Keshav Brahmachari, one of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's disciples in Jagannath Puri, and he related a story to me that I hadn't heard before. So there's so many stories to tell, but I'll just tell you this one. And maybe Gurudev, you could help me a little, because I can't remember the oldest brother of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his name was? Vinod Prasad, perhaps? The oldest?
Tirth Maharaj se.
The oldest son of Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
ও ললিতা
না না তুমি ছোট সবচেয়ে ছিলেন
ললিতা
না ও ছোট সবচেয়ে বড়
It was another son. It wasn't Lalita. I think Vinod Prasad, but I can't remember. But anyway, the oldest Bimala Prasad was number 7 or number 8 son of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Fourth son. Are you sure? Well, 4th son or 7th child, perhaps.
Fine.
At any rate, he was the favorite of the eldest son, who I think his name was Vinod Prasad, but I can't remember. No?
No.
Anyway, whatever it was. But this was an extraordinary exchange. It's a shame I can't remember all of it.
Kamala Prasad, Kamala Prasad one. And also Kamala Prasad,
বিমলা প্রসাদ ললিতা প্রসাদ আর
Lalita Prasad. I don't also not remember.
I
Go
can't
on.
remember. But this extraordinary pastime was that he became ill, and he was the favorite of his elder brother. Vimala Prasad was very, very close. They were, and his elder brother became ill, very, very gravely ill, and so his elder brother told one of the brothers and sisters, "Please bring Vimala Prasad."
Yes.
And he said, "I need the dust of his lotus feet." And so this is very strange for the older brother to ask for the dust of the lotus feet of the younger brother. And Bhaktivinoda came to hear about it, and he came to the eldest son, and he said, "What are you doing here? You know, Vimala Prasad is only a boy. By that time he was 7, 8 years old. He's only a boy. Of course he will give you the dust of his lotus feet. Why are you asking?" And he said, "Because in my previous life I was a Vaishnava Acharya, and I made offense to Vimala Prasad. And I have to get the mercy from him, or my life is incomplete." So then Vimala Prasad gave the dust of his lotus feet, and his elder brother passed away a few days later. What I was told.
Achyut.
And the time passed, when he was passing, then Tilak or Ramani Sampradaya came automatically in his forehead. But I did offense the lotus feet of Vimala Prasad. So he must forgive me, then I can die very easily.
And the only other consideration that I have, that I always ask the devotees,
Perhaps the name was Achyuta.
না না প্রসাদ দিয়ে নাম ছিল
the only other consideration that when I speak to devotees about Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, I can't really tell who is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, so I ask them a question. I say, who was it who set up the tirthas of Krishna in Vrindavan? It was Mahaprabhu and his disciples. They set up all these tirthas. And who was it that set up the tirthas of Mahaprabhu? It's Bhaktisiddhanta. So who is Bhaktisiddhanta?
আপনি বললেন বারবার
হ্যাঁ,
বিকালে হবে স্যার
তো তুমি এখানে বসো আর তুমি অর্ডার দাও বেশি পণ্ডিত হয়েছে Who will speak now?
So today is such an auspicious day, as Gurudev was saying, appearance day or disappearance day, to fix our minds on these most elevated personalities and to have the opportunity to speak about them and hear about them is very invigorating for the consciousness. And the pastimes of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj Prabhupada are so inspiring for all of us. His tremendous strength of character, his erudition, his scholarship in his writings will always elevate our consciousnesses. Just recently in the Harmonist that was produced in Vrindavan, there's some very beautiful articles, and I was reading one of them and then I decided to take notes on it, and I was aware that every single word, without exception, was pertinent to what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj was saying. So his writings, as Rishikesh Maharaj was saying, are very, very valuable to us all to become inspired and understand Guru Tattva, all Tattvas, we can get so much light from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj. So there are so many pastimes and stories connected with his preaching. I'll just relate one or two very briefly. There's the wonderful example of when Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Maharaj was in the mud, I think in Calcutta or Navadvip. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj had asked him to take one boy out of the temple. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj there was one devotee in the temple. He was a little obnoxious in his behavior. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj had said to this devotee, actually, you are the best devotee in the temple. And the devotee had sort of believed him, that actually he was the best devotee in the temple. So he had become a little disturbed by that himself. And he was causing disturbance to the other devotees. So finally, after much difficulty, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, he asked Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Maharaj to please, you take this boy's baggage and you ask him to leave the mat. So in that evening, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj had found that actually the boy was still in the mat, and Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Maharaj was nowhere to be found, and eventually they located Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Maharaj, and then he was brought before Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta asked him why you didn't take this boy away. I gave you instructions to do this. So Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Maharaj, he said, because I know your heart is so soft that you are asking me to do this, but actually tomorrow you will be regretful of this, and you only came here to help the conditioned jeeves. So knowing the inner mood of his Guru Maharaj, he didn't follow that instruction. So that's a small pastime of his. There's another pastime also in Calcutta, just before he was about to leave his manifest pastimes. There was a man who was in charge of running the mat, and he was a grihasta, and he was taking a lot of the funds from the collections and using them for his own livelihood. He had his son being nicely educated and so on. So the mat devotees became very disturbed by this, and actually all the sannyasis headed up by Srila Sridhar Maharaj, they approached Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj and they said, we're very disturbed by this devotee who is taking your funds. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, he became angry with the sannyasis. He said, I am coming to give bhakti, and this devotee is just taking this money, and you are not feeling compassion for this devotee. That is all he can see. All he can see is that he wants to take this material wealth. I'm giving the most divine transcendental wealth. He's only taking this material wealth. You should all feel very compassionate for him and help him. So like this, he would see with such clarity and transcendental vision that he would teach by every example. Even apparently negative aspects, he would always very clearly give his instructions. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj is always present with us. There's never a moment when he's absent, even though his manifest pastimes are concluded, but still he is completely with us at every moment, and we can meditate so much on many of his pastimes. So also.
Now, Shriman Naveen Krishna Vidya Alankar Prabhu will speak as much as time he can speak, because he has written so many points in his I will Guru has written point here. So he
7 points he has written.
so many points.
One day for each.
He will discover new things. Up to 1, 2, 3, 4 p.m. you can speak. No. I will speak there.
But Krishnadas Prabhu will become hungry.
नमो विष्णु पादाय गौरकृष्णाय भूतले स्मृते जगन्नाथ सरस्वती नाम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Srila Gurudev ordered me to glorify Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur. In his pranam mantra, we have seen Namo Vishnu Padaya Gaura Pristhaya Bhutale.
Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale, not Gaura Pristhaya. Have you seen Gaura Pristhaya?
No, Krishna.
Oh, see, new advent.
So here, Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale and Gaura Pristhaya Bhutale is same.
Same.
Because Krishna is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu other than Krishna.
This is second invention. So many
Like
inventions.
Pastor Rupa Goswami Pad, Sri Narottam Thakur composed one sloka, Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Saranga Rupa Padamayam Dadadisha Padantikam. This and Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale or Gaura Pristhaya Bhutale.
I have never seen any book or anywhere.
New book will come. New book.
I have never seen anywhere.
New book.
His name is New.
Yes.
New.
Naveen.
Naveen.
New.
Go on.
So, what is Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam? The Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when Krishna in October Leela, he was thinking that I could not realize three things in my Prabhupada Leela. I hope that all of you know this, the cause of Mahaprabhu's incarnation in this world, Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima. So Krishna could not taste, come here. So he took the complexion of Srimati Radhika and her mood and became Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu want to distribute, Mahaprabhu came in this world for two reasons. One, Premaras Nirjas Korite Sadhan, Ragmarga Bhakti Loke Korite Pracharan. You want to taste the essence of Premaras. This Premaras is Radhaya Pranaya Mahima. This in three slokes, in 3 points mention what is Premaras Nirjas. And Ragmarga Bhakti Loke Korite Pracharan. And Mahaprabhu want to preach the Ragmarga. Ragmarga means, if we want to know Ragmarga, we have to know at first what is Ragatmika. After that we can know what is Raganuga and Ragmarga. Ragatmika means Iste Sarasiki Raga Paramavistata Bhavet Tanmaya Bhavet Bhakti Satra Ragatmiko Dita. Iste Sarasiki Raga. Iste means here Krishna. There is naturally affection and naturally rag, attachment for Krishna. And they are too much absorbed for his service. So if this kind of avistata is there, they call ragatmik. Just like I giving an example, then you can understand. If there is one glass and there is some color, if you put the color, you can take out the color very easily. But if you melt the glass and put color, then it will mix as a manner you could not take it out by any soap or any acid, you could not take it out. So Raga was there in soul of that who has too much affection for Krishna, that means that Vajavasi. So Iste Saraswati Raga Paramavishvata Bhavet Tanmaija Bhavet Bhakti Sattvalet Ragodmikodita. That means Vajavasi has so much affection for Krishna in their soul. So they are called Ragatmik, who is eternal associates of Krishna. They are called Ragatmik. And Ragatmika Anusrita Jasa Raganugochate. He who want to follow Ragatmik Jan, that seeing their activity towards Krishna or hearing their activities, service propensity for Krishna. If any sadhak any devotional practitioner want to serve Krishna same mood, same way, they call Raganuga. So Mahaprabhu want to preach in this world Ragamarga Bhakti. That means how we can adopt that Raganuga Bhakti. Mahaprabhu want to preach this thing. So for Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he came in this world that Krishna Prasthya Bhutale. That means Krishna in form of Mahaprabhu want to distribute Raganuga Marga, Rag Marga Bhakti. Srila Saraswati Thakur also came in this world to preach Rag Marga Bhakti. And it's another Pranam mantra. Srivarsa Bhanavi Devi Dvaitaya Kripabdhare Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha. Why he came to give us a relationship with Krishna. Day before yesterday, during morning walk, Srila Gurudev told about Sambandha who is Madhyam Kanishta. He has relation, what kind of relationship? That relation with Bhagavan and Jeev, relation with Bhagavan and Maya, relation with Jeev and Jeev, relation with Maya and Maya. So Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada came to
Maya?
Jod and Jod.
And Jeev and Maya.
Is there any difference between Jod and Maya? Or same thing?
Same thing.
Same thing.
Jod, manifestation of Maya's potency, it is called Jod. So what is difference between these two things who came from the
Understanding what he is telling? What he is telling?
He's saying that there's no difference.
Maya and Jod are both same thing.
Yeah.
It is quite wrong.
What's the job?
Maya is potency or power of Krishna. Power. And it has been divided into two. Mahamaya, Jogmaya. And the things which has been
transferred
from the Maya is Chetan or Jod. From Jogmaya, Swarup Shakti coming, transferred, they are Chit Vastu. And the matters which has come from Mahamaya are Jad, like all these things in Vishnu. So Maya and Jad are not one thing. The things which has come out from Maya, they are Jad, Mahamaya. So we cannot say that Maya and Jad are same thing. There is some difference. So try to speak very carefully. Or you could not speak. You should try.
Okay, so difference between Jod and Jod. So Prabhupada, the relation between Jod and Jod and relation between Jeev and Jod. So these 5 kind of relationship, the Sambandha and Madhyam Kanishta has. So Prabhupada came in this world to distribute this kind of relationship? No. So what kind of relationship? Jeev is eternal servant of Krishna and he has some relationship in his constitution form. Some are dasa, that they think Krishna our master and I am his servant. It is called servitor mode. And Sakha, that Krishna is my friend. And Vatsalya Krishna is our son. And Madhur Krishna is our beloved. This kind of relationship Prabhupada want to give us, want to preach us. So Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Nama. Not only Sambandha. Prabhupada is so merciful, causeless merciful. Karunaya Vidyavandeha. That Sambandha Vijnana. Vijnana means knowledge with realization. So Prabhupada is so merciful. To whom you give this knowledge? The Sambandha, he was servant of Krishna. He make him understand and make him realize that what kind of servant he is. That means the disciples of Prabhupada who surrendered themselves totally, they realize themselves as one kind of servant, they are, and he was. Prabhupada mercifully make them realize that also.
Can you tell what he has told? What you understand?
Said that Srila Prabhupada has come not just to give
And not to,
knowledge of ordinary relationships, just
he has not come to give this.
not just that, but he has come to give even more.
Oh, it is quite wrong. You should tell carefully. He has come in beginning this, all knowledges. These are samandata. And the juice of all these, the essence of all, that's samandata. So both, he has come to give both things.
আমাদের লোক কেবল এইটা দিতে আসেননি উনি।
এটা তো একটা শব্দের ভুল হয়ে যায়, এটা খুব সাবধানী দেখো তো এটা কি বললো, খুব सावधानी पूर्वक बोलो, नहीं तो सब मिसगाइड हो जाए। हमको ऐसा इस सभा में नहीं बोलना चाहिए, किंतु बाध्य होकर के बोलना, दे विल मिसगाइड। चलो बोलो।
I told the Prabhupada did not came only to distribute.
हाँ, you should tell like this.
I'm sorry.
You are not sorry, I am also sorry. I understood like that. Now go on, next point.
माधुर्य जल प्रेमार्थ रूपानुग भक्ति द श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमस्ते। Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, he was the Gaura Shakti Sarupaya, he was potency of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And why he came? Rupanuga Bhakti da. He want to distribute Rupanuga Bhakti. So what is Rupanuga Bhakti? That Sri Krishna and his all incarnation, they are all Vishnu Datta, eternal associate of Vishnu Datta, also Krishna's eternal associates, they are called Agatmik Jan. He who wants to serve like them, they are called Raganuga. But he wants to serve Krishna like Swarup Goswami Pad. Seva Sadhaka Rupena Siddha Rupena Chaptahi. In external form, Jayaguru Goswami, being eternal associate, he is serving like an ordinary sadhak. He wants to teach us, so he is acting like an ordinary sadhak. And he is doing Sankha Purvaka Namagan, Nutivi, this, and by his inner mood, like in tomorrow he is serving divine couple in form of Rup Manjari. So he wants to serve like Rupa Goswami Pad. Like under guidance of Rup Manjari, he wants to serve divine couple. They are called Rupanuga. All Rupanuga, also Raganuga, but all Raganuga are not Rupanuga. Why? Because Rupanuga has one speciality, that they want to serve under guidance of Rupa Manjari. So we want to serve under guidance of Ragatmik Jan, they are Raganuga, and Rupanuga special, their classification, that being Raganuga, they have one special category, they want to serve divine couple under guidance of Rupa Manjari, so they are Rupanuga. So Prabhupada came in this world, teach this, that we can desire to serve like under guidance of Rupa Manjari. And we are giving our identification that we are Gaudiya Vaishnava. About Gaudiya Vaishnava, Srila Prabhupada told, who is Gaudiya? Srila Prabhupada explained in one his lecture that Gaudiya means who want to serve divine couple being in Madhur Ras, in Kanta Ras, they are called Gaudiya. Srila Prabhupada in his advices, he told that we will not serve so many demigoddesses. We have seen in scripture also, Alinganam Varanmanne Velabhaktha Jalokasam Nautatra Sallajuktanam Nana Devaika Sevinam. Better we can embrace crocodile and tiger. Then what will happen? Then we surely die. So the Prabhupada is telling, if we embrace crocodile or tiger, we may die, we see or die, no problem. Then we can spoil our whole lifetime. But if we serve so many demigods, then so many lifetime will spoil to come in Krishna consciousness being one-pointed. So Prabhupada instruct us, don't to serve so many demigods and demigoddesses. So Prabhupada instruct us, be tolerant, especially for Matavasis who live in Mott, they have to learn how to tolerate. Otherwise we could not increase in Krishna consciousness. In his other advice, Prabhupada told, our duty to serve Mathur Viraha Katar Brajavasi. What do you mean by Mathur Viraha Katar Brajavasi? When Krishna left Braj, he came to Mathura. Akhur brought him in Mathura. Then all Brajavasis, they are suffering so much for Krishna, they are lamenting for Krishna, that Krishna came in Mathura. So we have to serve Brajavasis who are Mathur Viraha, that means who are lamenting for Krishna when Krishna came in Mathura. We have to serve Brajavasi who are lamenting for Krishna, that kind of Brajavasi we have to serve Brajavasi. That means in this planet who is sadhak, maybe Siddha and sadhak both, who was doing bhajan in this world and teaching us that being his eternal associate is acting like a sadhak and is serving in mood of Brajavasis, we have to serve him. Then we can advance in Krishna consciousness. And Srila Prabhupada give us so many advices. So many Vaishnava also here and we shall hear from Gurudev. And due to my poor knowledge of English, so which I misguide you, so please excuse me. Bancha Bhagavata Rupaste Vipasindu Bhagavata
You want to hear something more, but time is now 12:30. What should we do? Huh? What should I do? Do you want to speak there? Huh?
They want to offer you also something.
So you should bring, and I think I should express all these things there.
You have to know.
Today you should come there earlier. At 4:50 and at about 5 we can begin our classes. So that for 1 hour we can speak and another 1 hour we can speak on subject Srimad Bhagavatam. So only 2 words I am speaking on this subject. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Vasubhanvi Devi Daitaya Kripabdhaye Shri Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Nama Madhurjojjal Primad Shri Rupan Bhaktas Gautana Shakti Vigrahaya Namastute Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhubhyaeva Cha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prem Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gautara Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur is associate of Krishna and also Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as you have heard from now. More. He was not a conditioned soul. He has come directly from Golok Vrindavan to preach the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna. Especially he is the associates of Srimati Radhika. Sri Vasubhanvi Devi. So when he appeared in this world, in the house of the Bhakti Vinod Thakur at Puri, as a son of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, so many symptoms were there in his body.
Umbilical cord was like a Brahmin
There,
flesh,
tilak in all his
12 places.
body fell, and there was a sign of Tulsi Kanthi Mala here. If I will wash here, you can see line of tilak, because from beginning I am doing. But in his body, it was very
Very bad.
Very
It was very
apparent
evidence.
and prominent, because his body was transcendental. So everything was like that. And his mother told to Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. When Bhakti Vinod Thakur told this, oh really? He is a transcendental person, any Vaishnava. I have not seen anywhere these things. So it has been told also. चार संप्रदाय विहीन आजे मंत्रास्ते विफलामता अतो कल्लो भव्यश्चांत चात्वार संप्रदायिना श्री ब्रह्म रुद्र सनका वैष्णवाक्षी भावना and Purushottama Jutkale Purushottama. That a very great Acharya, Vaishnava Acharya will come. And he will take birth in Puri. So, Vasubhanvi Devi, very near and dear to Vasubhanvi, Srimati Radhika, Srila Prabhupada was there. And that is why the chariot of Jagannath Dev, in that court festival, stopped for 3 days. And it was Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, the father of boy, who brought from his house Srila Bimlananda. At first he was name was not Bimlananda. Name was not kept. And he brought, because any lady cannot come and they can ride on chariot of Jagannath. Even they cannot touch. There is a rule and regulation there. So it was Bhakti Vinod Thakur who brought that child, and he was on the chariot, and seeing this, his garland came down and it was given to Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and also Annaprashan was given to
Grand ceremony.
grand ceremony that we did last night. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur took from Pandas the remnant of Jagannath and he gave in his mouth and kept name that only by the mercy of Bimala Devi, the
Potential
Swarup Shakti of Jagannath Devi, he has come in my house. That is why he kept name Bimala Prasad. After that, so many strange things began. After that, when he came down from the chariot, at once after 3 days, breath began to run so quickly. So all were astonished to say, the miracle. After that, he was nourished at Puri. Bhakti Vinod Thakur was the government officer. His service was changeable, sometimes here and there. So Prabhupada walked with him so many places. But Bhakti Vinod Thakur had. There is so much attachment with Puri. When this boy was of 3-4 years age, also brilliant. He used to take Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu books. Wherever Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur is used to go and give classes. And very patiently he used to hear all these things. When he became the age of 5, anywhere in Calcutta, কি নাম স্থানের যারা থাকতো ওরা ভক্তি বিনোদ ঠাকুর যেখানে থাকতো, I don't remember the place, but Bhakti Vinod Thakur with family used to be there. No.
What?
So, then a wall was for making building. Some wall was defective.
Bhakti Bhavan.
Bhakti Bhavan. Bhakti Bhavan, what garden? Bhakti Bhavan, not any garden. So, in digging wall, a vigra of Nishingadev came out.
Kurma?
No. Near Chetpur Road. I am missing. Then Bhakti Vinod Thakur at once he gave Harinam, and very little is 3-4 years. And here when this Vigra came, he should be given Diksha. So he gave mantra. Name is himself Krishna. To purify name, to have a relation with Krishna, Diksha mantra is given. To purify one. And to have a relation. Name has all powers. But without relation, it will be so late. So for purification, Diksha is given of mantra. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur gave him also Nishing mantra and mantra in Diksha. Diksha of Nishing mantra. And he began to worship Nishingadev. After that, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur gave him in Sanskrit school near Calcutta. At that time, Bengal was very
Famous.
place for Sanskrit study. And very soon, at the age of 9, all the Pandits of Bengal, they selected him, this boy, Vimalananda.
Vimala Prasad.
And they thought, hey, he is big astrologer now, he has become. So, and he knew all the Siddhanta of established truth of astrology. So they gave the surname
Title.
Siddhanta Saraswati. But not Bhakti Siddhanta.
Siddhanta
After
Saraswati.
that, only for astrology it was given. And he was so brilliant that even the Ashutosh ki chilo?
Vice Chancellor of Calcutta University.
Vice Chancellor
Of Calcutta
of
University.
Calcutta University. He wanted to give a post of astrology, highest post, to this Bhakti Siddhanta, Siddhanta Saraswati. But he told that, I am not come to count the stars in the sky and the dust
Particles.
of this world, earth. I have not come for this. I cannot accept this. I have come to serve Krishna and Radha and Jugal Mahaprabhu and to preach all these things. So he never accepted. This post was
Vacant.
kept so much for so a long period empty, but he could not. He never accepted this. Then he had some quarrel with the professor and teachers in his college also and the Sanskrit college also. and he cut all the arguments of the professors and principals, and he left the school. Then Bhakti Vinod Thakur wanted to, his mother, the mother of Srila Prabhupada and brothers, they wanted that he should earn some money. But Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati was not interested in this. They opened a medical store for Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, Bimlanand Saraswati. And he went like Swamiji, and after some time it was failure. Then he was sent to Kasim Bazar in East Bengal. The king of Kasim Bazar was a bhakta. He wanted that his boy should be learn something like in Vaishnava etiquette. And he was friend of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So he requested that I want that any good teacher should be sent for my boy. Bhakti Vinod Thakur told his son, Bimlanand, can you go there? And for some time, there is a very big library of Vaishnava library. You can go and read, and also you can teach that boy. He went there, and at that time, 1 rupee has so much value, like England pound. And at that time, he made a salary of 300 rupees. So you can see that how much it was. Very high salary. He began to teach boy, but very soon the boy became like Vaishnava. He began to chant Harinam. He was going to be a renounced sannyasi. No attachment for his mother, father, brother, or for wealth or anything. Then his mother wanted to take poison, and he told that to his husband that if this young person, Bimlanand, is teaching my boy, then he will be renounced. So I will take poison and I will die. Then his all associates also, they told to king, and at last king told that I will give you 300 rupees per month. I shall send. But anyone don't want that you should teach my boy. Prabhupada became so happy. And in the meantime, in 4 or 5 months, he read all the books, from top to bottom, Ved, Upanishad, Shastra, and all the books of Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and all books. Very big there was library. In 4 months he quickly read all of the books. And he returned to Mayapur. Bhakti Vinod Thakur was happy that he is getting 300 rupees salary, and his mother was also. But he refused. I don't want to take any price of these dishes. Never I will take. So he refused. Then Bhakti Vinod Thakur thought of what should I do? Then he made him at a Jamindari, you know? He bought some land in Mayapur that you see. The birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He bought, and then he engaged Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in Jogpit and made a hut. And in that hut, Gaur Vishnu Priya, Panchatattva, and Radha Krishna both, they were established there. There was none. Only Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur used to come sometimes. after that, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur resigned and came to Godrum and established a bhajan kuti there. And there Srila Gaur Kishore Das Maharaj used to come. And there was a very good discourses of bhakti there. Sometimes Prabhupada used to come there. And when Gaur Kishore Das Babaji was there, he used to hear all the discourses between Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. And he was so much attracted to Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. And then he made up mind that I should make my spiritual guru Srila. Though he knew that Bhakti Vinod Thakur is so high, but people will think that, oh, he is his father. But Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati never understand like this. He always respect him. Especially he used to know that Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur is also in Bhagavat Parampara Guru of Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. He knew. So, he was determined to be this disciple of Srila. So, Bhakti Vinod Thakur is Bhagavat Parampara, his Guru to Prabhupada. And also Bhakti Gaur Kishore Das Babaji in Guru Parampara. I cleared it in my article. It may be come out very soon. So, how he took initiation from Srila Prabhupada, he has told, Navin Krishna has told, and now it is going to very time. So, I will speak something there. So, you should be satisfied by this, and we will speak there. Go, want to speak something? No, you should speak. Oh, you are tired because you are so strong? You are tired? Bring. You should also try to correct something. You should try to correct something. I have never seen and I have never heard like you told about mango to Prabhupada. Never I heard. And it is quite, I think that it is quite false. A renowned person like Prabhupada, how he will do and take anything which is not given to Thakur? He can never do. But he has stopped to take mango. There is something reason, another reason I will explain. There are so many things that nowadays going out here. Imagination, so many. So don't come in imagination. Oh, you should speak.
No, I don't want
No, you speak. Oh, you are a very.
What kind of journalist you are?
What is it?
This is
Oh.
You are a journalist.
What is this? You should
You
speak.
are a
What is
journalist.
what he wants to give Gurudev? What is this?
This is all the lectures. This is all the lectures from your emails. Okay, I compiled it. So I want to know whether you
Where you got?
from the internet.
Huh?
From the
Internet,
internet.
email থেকে।
Oh,
So I call
very
it
good.
the shower of love. I don't know whether you like the title.
The Shower of Love. A collection of lectures by Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Maharaj. Recent tour to Asia and the Western countries during the early part of 1998.
98.
Very good. Thank you. I want that you should write so many books from my collection. You are journalist. You can so much preach my mission. And your husband should always help you in this. No? And new books should come. And you should help in my preaching also, and in my क्या? प्रकाशन, publications also. My heartily blessings to you. Gaur Premanand. Very good. It has not come out anywhere.
No, I just want to give it to you as an offering first, and then after that, what kind of a form you want it, whether magazine or something like that, you know. So I just
It
want
may
to
be
give it to you.
like in any book.
In a book form.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Because
have another copy with you?
I have it all on the internet.
Huh?
I have it all on the internet. You can keep
Computer
this
has it,
copy, but the photograph is only one.
So we will give it to